What? Hola, Ortiz?
No. No, it ain't him. I thought... Commander, help me make sense of this.
It's a dead body. Glad I could clear that up for you.
I had a notion of what I might encounter here. Test tubes, records, some graphs kept on ice, but not this. Law. My heart just about stopped when I saw him. I thought Ortiz had come back, gotten himself in trouble, but no. This man, whoever he is, he's been dead for a time. They did this to another person? Law, it's a miracle Ortiz even made it out for what time he had left. Void, damn it, this poor man. The test subjects, Ortiz. All of them are dead. All of them left in ruin by the butchers running this place. All of them could have been me. Saying what, exactly? To experiment on further, no doubt. All that matters now is finding that doctor. He's got a reckoning coming. My aim's steady, if that's your concern. I'm sorry. I'll be fine once we breathe fresh air again. Just need this to be over.
Over here! These beasts have to get down! Handle them straight away! Please! I cannot let my genius be wasted here!
Boy, damn coward! We'll see how you beg when we're face to face! Out of sight and on the way! Someone call for a medic. Let's get you healed! Is this the cub that Terminal mentioned? Still breathing, but only just. Void. That must be his mama on the other side of the glass. We were too late for the soldier back there, but not too late for this cub. We should help. Wretched work. Poor creatures ain't got any idea what's in store for them.
If we use that maintenance hatch, we could sneak up on anyone still alive here. I love to see the look of surprise before the kill.
Time for some hunting.
please. I so worry that nobody intercepted my distress signal.
Oh, we got his signal all right. Let's get this bastard.
Now you're speaking my language.
There wasn't a person alive who could best the matriarch Ursapod. Yet, here you are. What a show!
You the doctor in charge here?
Indeed I am, soldier. And
So you're the one who butchered my friend.
what's going on? I don't know. Records? I don't. Fine, yes, I know what you're thinking. I was recruited for this unofficial venture soon after. Don't understand the need for secrecy myself, but our sponsor demanded it. I dared not ask too many questions. He's some manner of executive.
Enough with the excuses.
I sympathize with your friend, soldier. Truly, you must understand that the work we do here is greater than any one life. We can change the galaxy for the better. If you require convincing that my experiments have led to many breakthroughs, witness me. My own lungs would have failed without my prototyping of a device to keep me alive.
That device any good at stopping a bullet?
Enough with the threats of violence. Listen here, if you choose to brutalize me, all of my research and knowledge will be gone. Forever. The suffering you've seen here will be nothing in comparison to the suffering I could prevent. Do you truly want to be the one to stand in the way of progress? It's been a long time coming, but I believe I've laid the groundwork for treating injury and illness far better than modern medicine can manage. We are on the precipice of regrowing limbs that had been lost in accidents, reversing brain trauma, nerve damage, mayhaps aging one day. It would be a boon to humanity and a boon to Auntie's bottom line.
Don't listen to this windbag, Commander. He's selling fairy tales.
Let's not be hasty. I see your graft is a result of revision surgery. Your first go was botched, and you were considered a failure of the program, yes? I know what happened to those failures. Demoted, disgraced. It was horrible business. And yet, you still wear our colors. You want to reclaim your station, don't you?
You don't know anything about what I want. I'm not sure I should. If I accept such a bribe, what does that make me? Whether I want to regain my position or not doesn't matter. I don't want your help. I will not benefit from the pain of others.
You think there were no victims of the first program? That your existence isn't built up? Now, if you stay your hand, I will grant you 2 state-of-the-art grafting parts. They cannot fail. Install one of them, and you'll see my earnest intent. You were never the broken thing they made you, soldier.
No, Commander, what if he's right? What if something in his work is worth saving? What if this is my chance to make something of my life? I think you have the right of it. You felt that rage with me, Commander, back there in the lab with the soldier. Even now, we can see what could have been. I trust you more than anyone, I think. The fact you're of the same mind only bolsters my inclination. Now, I ain't condoning what happened here. I won't disrespect Ortiz or the other victims as such. But if we continue this research, know that it cannot, must not be like this. We can trust Doc Tinsley to set things right. One can only know goodness if they're led by example. But if this doctor doesn't take direction, we'd only be repeating the cycle. We would be complicit. Law knows the folk hurt by the war could use the help. That's something I ain't lost sight of. I know Ortiz wouldn't have either. It's your lucky day. You'll live. Pack up your things and head straight to Fairfield to Doc Tinsley. You want to continue your work, you'll follow her lead.
Thank you, soldier. Thank you. I won't forget this, I swear. I'll unlock the cases for you now, as promised. Take the graphs you like and let me know how they work out, won't you?
Make no mistake, I ain't doing this for my own gain. If you say you can help other folk, you best deliver on that promise. Let's get out of here before I change my mind.
There, the graphs are yours. I've lifted the lab out of lockdown. You are free to leave unhindered. I'll be off to Fairfield.
The operating theater is not conducting viewing dissections at this time. That is not an invitation to return to your study and perform exploratory surgery on yourself or a willing volunteer, just to be clear. Not as concerning as some of the scenes I have been called to in the middle of the night. I assure you, the warning is justified. But I trust you are here for a reason other than to discuss scalpel-happy novices. Evidently. Seeing as you do not appear to be a resident of the garden, however, I will have to charge you. You should notice an immediate improvement. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Have an update about that personal matter. You know, the one that might, end the universe. The other universe-ending thing. Back at Winter's Grasp, I found someone was continuing Anais, Sir Bujold's research. Believe I have a lead on their identity. I wholly agree. I pieced together information from earlier leading to Golden Ridge on Dorado. Oddly enough, to the anchor hold at Matriarch's Mercy Monastery. I had Val set the location on our map. I recognize we're juggling multiple crises, but I'd suggest we journey there sooner than later. Inquire away. I may even respond. Presiding Bishop Orlo, yes. Ruth Bazaar's predecessor. And better. Now there was a scientician. A true adherent to Order principles. Ran an efficient operation to boot. For a while, I'd hoped all this recent brouhaha, the schism, invasion, the rifts, was part of some long-foreseen predictive plan on her part. Something oblique only at the moment. The more time passes, the less I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm missing a few key variables. Or maybe she's a bit mathematically challenged. Because all the good mathematical terms were already taken by my predecessors? Because nothing gets past me, someone once thought, perhaps. I'm sure I don't know, dear. Whoever came up with that particular sobriquet is surely long since dead and buried. Hopefully by my hand. Are you asking me to reveal details of high-level covert operations? For the former head of the Order? To you, an agent for another party? I doubt you're willing to offer me a thorough accounting of your past assignments. And I bet the Earth Directorate had you on all sorts of clandestine initiatives. I'm not saying never, but we only just met, dear. Trust takes time. Do you now? Let's hear it. More than anyone alive, I suppose. Not that I agree with all of her stated conclusions. In our time at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, I gained many colleagues. But the work had cognitive demands. Let's say I possessed more associates than friends. She needn't have worried, though. I have recently come to appreciate personal connection. Theoretically. In a typically roundabout fashion, more or less. Not sure how she concluded that so quickly, but it was a reasonable hypothesis based on available data. I mean, of course I know who I am. Or that is, I know who I was. Who I am now is a work in progress. A revise and resubmit. May the plan favor us against long odds.
Too much Spacers Ale? Try Auntie's Choice Pep Pills. Good for what, ale?
Been noodling about the rocks. Now it's just up and smashed into Westport. Such a tragedy. Lots of rumors flying around about what brought that station down on Westport.
Ah, Inez, have you come back for a tune-up? I've got just the injection for that. Freezes those pesky muscles right back into place.
No, yeah, a tune-up sounds good. I actually brought a few other grafting parts with me if you reckon my arm can handle a stitch or two.
Oh, these are pristine indeed. Is this of an ursopod? My, I haven't seen one of those in many years. Oh, and a mantis swarm hive. The hunting must be good wherever you ran off to.
Yeah, you could say that. Since Doc's given her blessing, which do you reckon I go with? The ursopod's mucus gland could absorb some incoming damage, if you don't mind getting a little sticky. The mantis swarm hive, however, would be best for crowd control. Say the word, and I'll sick these little guys on any enemy in our vicinity. I'm intrigued by either option, really. Then I'll choose the same. Just refrain from any slug jokes.
Ursopod is a wonderful choice. Hold still, dear. There. I dare say you won't be needing any tune-ups in the near future. But I do trust you'll find an excuse to come by for the occasional visit. By the by, where did you find these parts? What is it, dear? You look, well, a bit like you've been stung by a terror ray. I've got ointment for that too, you know.
There's a grafting lab way out on Cloister that was still operational. Till recently. I found it, Doc. And... Law. I ain't seen any horrors like that.
Still operating? Inez, do you feel all right? The program was shut down more than 6 months ago. Any further funding would be in direct violation of Auntie's orders.
I know what I saw. They were brutalizing folk and creatures. Paying them no mind, giving them no honor, even if they succumb to the process. The doctor there, he killed a friend of mine. And you're telling me you knew nothing of it?
Inez, I swear I didn't. That sounds... Oh, Sovereign's mercy, that sounds precisely like what I would protest with every breath.
The creatures they were experimenting on broke out of their cages, killed most of the staff. But you know what's worse? Keeping a dead soldier's body on display. Like a thing. I found the doctor in charge, still alive. We spoke briefly, and I allowed him to live. On the condition that he redeems himself and uses his research for good. But this ain't the extent of it, I fear. I need to find out who's responsible for all this.
Oh, Inez, I know you do. But with the program officially shuttered, it would be awfully difficult to ascertain which individual has the pockets to fund such a... Wait. Yes, that does shed light on a correspondence I received recently. A vice president sent a message asking for my presence and scientific expertise to discuss a unique opportunity. I found the secrecy odd at the time, but I do suppose it lines up with your discovery.
Ain't surprising. What's his name? Where can we find him?
His name is Willard Conan, VP of Experimental Operations. The very man who was in charge of the grafting program at its inception. He's... Oh, I know that look. If you mean to do something, I beg you.
I just mean to have a little chat. I will be asking Willard to reform the grafting program. You heard from Dr. Rasmussen, right? I spared him and his research for this purpose. If there's good to be had from the program, then Willard needs to invest in that good. And you're my first choice to lead the new program.
You honor me. I did receive a message from a Rasmussen, yes. He is on his way with research to hand over to me. But... it would bring purpose back into my work. All of Fairfield knows as well as I that I've been craving it for some time. And if it helps folk like Inez, I will help you. Vice President Conan's office is aboard the Undisputed Claim, the flagship of Auntie's Choice. I do not know where exactly, as I've never been. but it's my understanding that you will need to present this calling card to gain entry. Inez, what you are doing is noble, and I wish you the greatest of successes.
Thank you, Doc. Now, you get those grafting tools ready, because I ain't intending to fail.
Don't make me avenge you!
Fortune! Our technician manifests at last. Halt there. You match the description of the technician we have been vigilantly awaiting, but as they say, assumptions made are mistakes readied. Present yourself, so that I may take the measure of you. Evidently so. Satellites from our magnificent Hyperion reticulum do not tumble so gracelessly down from the skies every day. Some might label me mistrustful, but I wonder at your sudden assignment to this matter. Your tardiness, too, invites questions. It raises doubt you are even who you presume to be. On second appraisal, I see I was mistaken to doubt you as a resolute subject of the Protectorate. You clearly carry yourself as one with a fearsome purpose. You may avail yourself of the satellite. Matriarch guide you in your work.
Commander, I've been thinking. Can I bend your ear a moment? We got the intel we need, Commander. The undisputed claims our destination. If we find this Willard and convince him to use this grafting research for folks' betterment, well then, all this hurt we've seen will have counted for something. Been doing some thinking about what happened in the lab. I went there to kill that man for what he did to Ortiz, and instead, let him walk away with his research. Didn't realize till I saw the lab what a fool I was. All for thinking that company folk gave a damn about each other. Even so, I still reckon we got a real shot of making things better. Auntie's Choice can't be trusted on their own with this research, that's clear. But if someone like me were to guide them, maybe they can be shaped into what I thought they were. If they could actually help folk like they claimed they would when they liberated Tau Ceti, it'd make life better for anyone. Elsewise, there'll only be more victims in their wake. Ain't just saying that, are you? Ortiz sent me a message because he knew I would take action, that I'd remedy the betrayal both of us faced. If he were here now, he'd understand, I think. Are you with me? Thanks, Commander. Maybe this is what folk mean by the architects setting things in motion. If I hadn't broken my contract, I wouldn't be here. Maybe proving myself was never the intention. Maybe this is what I was meant to do. Let's just see what Willard's got to say, all right?
People are gonna start to talk. No need to wait for permission. Ask them. I was assigned to the Order as a girl, but never really found my footing there. Too unfocused, they said. A distraction to others. Then the schism happened and everything went topsy-turvy. In all the chaos, an agent from Sub Rosa made contact. She made me an offer and I liked how the math worked out. If I had to theorize, Sub Rosa must have seen me as their in to the Order. And through them, I saw an eventual way out. My left pinky feels a little tingly. All jesting aside, no. I learned it's best not to exceed a moderate amount of caring when it comes to the actions of others. You'll only be disappointed. You know, I'm actually nearing the end of my shift. If you're amenable to continuing our chat somewhere more private, I think we could both benefit. Right this way. People are gonna start to talk. And I'd like to offload some of this merchandise. Sounds like a win-win. People are gonna start to talk. Aren't you reliable? I just need one moment to copy the data. There, all done. Thank you ever so much. Was there anything else you wish to discuss?
I look forward to the reclamation of the Hyperion web. Hopefully you shall facilitate that. Now, how might we be of use to one another? Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose should have been! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. I must admit I first had doubts. due to your association with a cultist. But yes, you've earned not only my trust, but the Order's as well. I hope you'll continue working with us. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.
The Chamber of Conflict Evaluation and Strategic Planning is currently off limits to non-essential Order personnel.
If you're here to complain about feelings, what was Beckett thinking? Ending the experiment so abruptly. I'm the primary physician for Laplace's garden. In order for me to successfully monitor my patients, I must be informed of anything that might impact treatment. Of course I knew. If you're here to complain about feeling scattered, irritable, or otherwise out of sorts, then take a seat. What was Beckett thinking? Ending the experiment so abruptly. I'm the primary physician for Laplace's garden. In order for me to successfully monitor my patients, I must be informed of anything that might impact treatment. Of course I knew. It doesn't change much these days. If you're here to complain about feeling scattered, irritable, or otherwise out... What was Beckett thinking? Ending the experiment so evidently. Seeing as you do not appear to be a resident of the garden, however, I will have to charge you. The body is quite resilient. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Good to see you again. I had hoped we could speak earlier, but no matter. A little time remains. You are a crucial variable in the solution to a critical problem. Since the unfortunate end of the peace talks, Gertie and I have kept in communication, and we believe it is still possible to get the Order and Auntie's Choice to work together. When you go in to speak with the presiding bishop, please raise the issue with her. I assure you this is the correct thing to do. For yourself, for us, for Arcadia. For one, having the allied might of their forces at your back when facing down the Protectorate. If that's not sufficient, perhaps some additional incentive could also be provided. And if you might consider an appeal to your better nature, ending the conflict between Auntie's choice and the Order would have untold benefits for all Arcadia. Farewell. I would say good luck, but I put no stock in chance, only probability. May the plan favor us against long odds.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. As I told you in my message, a splinter group was responsible for recruiting your fellow agent and tasking her to perpetrate that heresy. The conviction of those radicals was such that they elected to perish from exposure to Cloister's wilderness to avoid fouling their predictions and my interference. Their interpretation of the data was at odds with mine. I forbade them taking action, to no avail, obviously. I disavowed their actions then, as I do now. Faith is trust without evidence. You deserve far more than that. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, Supreme Calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. My sensory deprivation chamber. I spend the majority of my days closed inside the silence, dulling myself against the tedious excesses of the body and mind. Want no longer factors into my decisions, but I can see how that might confuse one of such spirited bearing. I am using the chamber to prepare for a test of significant endurance. I think it best to leave the discussion there for now. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be, but I trusted the plan. And lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. Very well. We are here to fashion the future after all, not litigate the past. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. It's recently come to my attention that secret communications have been exchanged between Laplace's garden and the undisputed claim. Do you know anything about that? I should have known. Vicar Levin has made this appeal to me at least thrice since his return. He really cannot accept a solution he did not devise. Wise enough to recognize the perils, too. But the right course often involves remaining open to new possibilities. I will put the question to you one final time. Are you certain you would rather pursue this path than work exclusively with the Order? There will be no future option to reconsider. Then I will endeavor to bring that vision to fruition, if the plan wills it. A true in-person meeting between myself and Auntie could never take place due to the security risks. But perhaps a remote conference could be a viable alternative. The odds of you persuading Auntie Cleo to agree are unfavorable. But the math does improve if you have greater standing within her corporation. Oh, I am well aware of your extracurriculars. I only lacked the context to understand them until now. You've certainly built out a commendable framework for this discussion. Hopefully your forward thinking extends to the negotiations themselves. Once you have met with Auntie, instruct her to send me a communique. We can finesse the details of a conference then. My time is yours, for the moment. Call it proof of concept. Laplace's garden is more than its aesthetic. It offers a vision of a future free from the despotic rule of narrow-minded jingoists, where the fruit of the plan can finally ripen. It saddens me to see the garden so despoiled by our wartime presence. But with the loss of Spirton, necessity dictated we quarter here in the interim. Oh, the Laureate Council simply draws a name out of a hat. You could, but I fear you will be a long time waiting for the next selection. I have no intention of shuffling off this mortal coil anytime soon. In reality, I was recommended for my position by the preceding bishop. Paired with my skills as a seer, I was the natural choice when it came time for the council to vote. Thank you for that charitable assessment. My predecessor, presiding Bishop Orlo, and I had a close working relationship. He knew I possessed the skills and temperament for the role. I counted him a friend. Orlo shared with me his doubts about the Order's partnership with the Protectorate, the compromises made. He had many such regrets at the end of his life. It is humbling indeed to confront one's own mortality. We must all assess our individual contributions to the plan before the final class lets out. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
Failed to cite her work completely. I worked with presiding Bishop Orlo, you know. Now there was a serious scientician.